Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. Seriously, it's been a while. I really appreciate you. So yeah, I'm back, baby. I took a month. Life has been like smacking me and my girlfriend in the face. Plus, we moved apartments, hence this jank background right now. And so there's just been a lot going on, and I decided to take some time for myself. Probably make a video on it in the future, just like some updates, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's what's happening. Happy Pride. As you can tell, I have my Pride earrings on. Hello, editing Megan here. I forgot to mention it in this video, and I totally meant to, but those earrings are from Danielle Allie Designs on Etsy, and she has like all of the flag colors that you could think of, which was what I appreciated, but like a random TikTok of theirs came up on my TikTok, and like it hadn't gone viral, and I was like, wow, I need so many of these. They're really good quality, and they shipped really fast, and yeah, so I will have a link to that store down below because the shop is amazing, and I love all the earrings that I got. So yeah, any videos in June, the remainder of June, you will see me wearing these earrings most likely. All right, bye. At the time of filming, Pride in Denver is next weekend, and it's my first Pride ever out, so I'm very excited about that. Actually, it's my first Pride ever in general, so I'm very excited about that. On the topic of Pride, my friend from studying abroad in London, Sharmin, she made this shirt, and if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. But it says, "I am forever colorful," and I love it. It's super soft. It's on organic cotton, I think. But she sent me one to just feature on my socials if I liked it, and I really like it. It's really well made. I really like the simplicity of the design for like the impact of the statement, and I think it's perfect for Pride. So I'll have the link down below to go check out all of her socials and her website and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, today we're gonna be doing a reaction. I know, because even though I think technically it's only been like a month since my last reaction, it's been a few months. Oh, also I'm not engaged. Me and Avery are not engaged. I just got us promise rings because it was our 1-year anniversary last weekend. And yeah, so that's all you need to know about that. But yeah, so we're doing a reaction because like I said, it's been like I think a month, maybe 2 since I did a reaction video. It's been like 3 months since I've like looked up any kind of new material, I guess. And so we're gonna be doing one today because since I've started making these, unfortunately, I have gotten a lot more like fat acceptance related content just like naturally on my For You page, and I have noticed that there has been a big uptick in fat acceptance people like not knowing how to make their point without bullying other people and diminishing the feelings and experiences of other people. And as anybody who's been watching me for any amount of time knows, like I'm not about that avenue, going about that avenue of proving my point, and I think it's very counterproductive. And yeah, so I actually have it kind of broken up into 3 sections of like multiple TikToks that we're just going to talk about after they're all done playing. Yeah, so we're going to do that today. But before we get into today's video, I want to thank today's sponsor, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot has been a longtime friend of the channel, even before we started working together on a professional level, because I've been using a FlexiSpot standing desk for almost like the last 2 years. Standing desks are so great and are a very important part of mine and my girlfriend's office setup, because being able to stand while working or playing video games is super important for your posture, your back and lumbar health, and overall just your joints from not like having to sit for hours on end all the time. I've been recommending FlexiSpot to people again, like even before we started working together, like on my channel, because I truly think for the price, you cannot beat the quality. I'm here at Avery's desk. She is currently rocking an E5 standing desk for her gamer girl setup. It's the perfect size for her 2 monitors and her PC tower. The E5 standing desk comes with a convenient control panel to adjust the height, and each of the numbers seen can be programmed to immediately go to a height of your choosing when pressed. It also has a 355-pound load capacity and USB port presets, a child lock, and an anti-collision feature, which basically means like if you have something underneath your desk and you try and lower it, it will automatically stop lowering so it doesn't hit whatever that thing is. And even on carpet and at its highest height, the E5 remains stable and doesn't wiggle around at all. The only thing that wiggled was Avery's second monitor, and that is because it's a prehistoric TV. The height adjustments are smooth and don't disrupt anything on the desk, even the multitude of beverages that we both have on our desks at all times, pretty much. So be sure to check the link in my description to go see the desks for yourself and get one if you are in the market, because FlexiSpot does offer a 30-day risk-free return policy and a 15-year warranty. Thank you so much to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video and being a longtime supporter of the channel, and thanks so much to you guys for continuing to interact with my content so brands like FlexiSpot want to keep working with me. Alright, now let's get back into the video.
Jenny, babe, you would think that critical thinking would come so easily to somebody with a forehead that looks like it receives solar power. That is not the case here. Thoughts and prayers, babe.
Show me someone that looks good at 300 pounds. Y'all are just proving my point.
Girl. You are so loud.
Okay, so those are just like two of many, many, many options that we have available of fat acceptance creators feeling the need to in turn attack people's looks, try and make their point that like fat phobes are bad. And I will say, like, the first person was responding to very insensitive comment saying that like mounds of flesh is like not appealing and like that kind of stuff, and I'm kind of maybe might be giving the benefit of the doubt here saying that that's like just a language barrier thing. I could be wrong. If not, then yeah, that's like a really insensitive thing to say. But then the second one was someone responding to very controversial creator who I personally do not like, Just Pearly Things, and for even more than just her fat phobia, because she's just not a great person. Responding to her saying like, name someone who looks good at 300 pounds. You guys are proving my point. I've already made a video on that whole debacle that happened like a few months ago by just throwing like under eye brightening patches at her, being like, you're so loud. And to me, it's like just going for, and I get it. Like, I get the want to be petty. I talked about that in my Just Pearly Things video. I get the want to be petty and to go after someone else's looks when they're going after yours. But I personally think and have had success in not being petty when trying to prove a point about something that matters to me. And it really sucks, but I think it's just a matter of like, you go, like they go low, you have to go high. And I know that sucks. Like, it sucks really, really bad, right? But I ultimately think it is the best way to, like, I guess, form an argument back to someone who's like disagreeing with you. Form an argument with someone who's disagreeing with you is to come back with like maybe facts or statistics or like even lived experiences or something, because like that can like appeal to sympathy and that kind of stuff. But just going for attacking someone else's looks, especially saying to someone on the internet that like their forehead is the size or so big that it looks like it gets solar power. Yeah, I've got a big dome, okay? And like my bangs cover it up. And like, that's a good read, all right? That is a great read, but it's just not necessary. And I think it makes their arguments weaker when it comes to trying to rebut somebody who's criticizing them. Because I've always been a firm believer that if like the only thing you can say about me in wanting to like disagree with me or criticize me about is my looks, then there's no argument there. Like, there's nothing. And so I just don't think it's helping anybody. I will never defend Pearl Davis because she's awful. But I just think overall, you see fat acceptance creators do this a lot, and it's just extremely unnecessary. So that's like, I feel like a good couple of instances of fat acceptance creators just turning to like straight up bullying other people to try and make their point, which, like I've said, is just not conducive to anything. And I think it's really stupid, to be honest. Anyways, let's keep going.
Skinny shaming and fat shaming are just not on the same level. When I lost a bunch of weight, people said that I looked way better. Well, I've gotten skinny shamed before. People tell me all the time that I'm just skin and bone and that I should eat more. Oh, yeah, no, you should definitely eat more. I think you'd look way better if you were fat. Excuse me?
Okay, so those two, one was someone talking about how like skinny shaming and fat shaming are not the same thing, because when they lost a bunch of weight, that, first of all, their name is Bagel Lesbian, and I love that. Anyways, when they lost a bunch of weight, people only ever told them like how good they looked, and then they're saying like someone would hypothetically be like, yeah, but I've been told that I look like skin and bone, blah blah blah, and this person retorts back with, yeah, you should definitely eat more. I think you'd look way better if you were fat. Then there was one, it was just like, it was a stitch from Marissa, or it was a stitch to a Marissa video, and someone was stitching agreeing with her. Sorry, I'm like kind of scrubbing through here. And Marissa Matthews says, skinny shaming is not the same as fat shaming. One is bullying, the other is systemic oppression and discrimination. As if bullying is okay too? Like, I don't really understand that. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find any Marissa content because she has privated her account, and so I cannot get on it. I did think it was really funny that the first person to prove that skinny shaming like wasn't a thing turned around and skinny shamed the hypothetical person in the situation and then showed it affecting them negatively. For me, saying, yeah, you should eat more, you look way better if you were fat, is like the same thing as saying to a fat person, yeah, you should eat less, you'd look way better if you were smaller. And so I think they could have taken this TikTok like a completely different direction and probably made a better point. Or made their point better. And it even says on the screen, reversing the narrative to show why skinny shaming equals fat or doesn't equal fat shaming, when like their point, they literally show that skinny shaming does equal fat shaming because they turn around and skinny shame the hypothetical person in this conversation. So I just thought that was really funny. And also, just for a bigger point, like with both of these, I really do think that like skinny shaming is a thing. Like I grew up with a lot of a lot of close people in my life who, for no matter how hard they tried, could not put on weight. And it was something that they were really insecure about. And for a long time, honestly, as a bigger person, like I didn't get it. But as I like grew up and I really saw their experiences, I was like, oh, this is like the same thing. Like this is like they feel the same way about their body that I feel about mine. And it's just on two different sides of the spectrum. Like it's a very real thing. And they do get snide remarks made about their body, and like fat people do. But yeah, I think this whole narrative of like skinny shaming and fat shaming aren't the same thing, and that fat shaming is worse because like Marissa says, it's like systemic oppression. And you know how I feel about the systemic oppression argument. I made a whole video on it last month. It was a banger, or 2 months ago. It was a banger. Go check it out if you haven't. Is really kind of a nothing burger of an argument, because like I just think the whole argument should just be, we shouldn't be commenting on other people's bodies in general, because like what the fuck does it matter? And that might be kind of a cop-out, but like I really just truly believe like that, and I really don't think the status of other people's bodies is anybody's opinion, especially when it comes to weight, because like it fluctuates so much depending on life circumstances, all of that kind of stuff. I've had this conversation before on my channel that weight and weight loss in particular, in my experience, is not a linear journey. It's very cyclical. And I feel like that is something that nobody really talks about, and that needs to be talked about more. And the state of somebody's body, unless it's like outwardly looking like it's harming them, I really just don't think is anybody's business. And that's why when I make these videos, like I try and stray away from commenting on people's bodies as much as possible, because it's just such an unnecessary thing to do to make an argument, you know? And yeah. And so I just think maybe we should like restructure this whole conversation, just saying like, hey, don't make unnecessary comments about people's appearance or bodies. I'm a big proponent of if they can't change it in like under 15 minutes, then you shouldn't be commenting on it rule. Because I just think it's unnecessary. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, yeah, so this is just a great example of people in fat acceptance invalidating other people's experiences to make their own argument, which again is not a conducive way to debate or argue a topic. So yeah, we're gonna get more of that in the next few, so let's get to that. And this one's gonna need me to read some, so yeah. So before I start this one, it's Feminist Land Whale duetting a creator, saying, and they're just like showing their body, being like with the sound that says gorgeous, gorgeous girls have a lower belly pouch, gorgeous, gorgeous girls don't give a fuck, I think. Which like the person that they are duetting is like stereotypically thin. And I do think that there could potentially be a conversation around like creators masquerading as having body image issues just to get clout off of the body positivity movement. I don't know. That is a very nuanced topic. But there are definitely some like shady characters in like the not fat acceptance side of body positivity. And I think that's something that could be talked about a lot in the future, which I'm kind of planning on doing. But I think everybody kind of deserves a seat at the table in body positivity, and I don't want to like contradict that. So this is a whole thing. We'll see. But yeah, so it's basically Feminist Land Whale just like making fun of this person for like thinking they have a lower belly pouch when they are outwardly thin. And that's where we're going to start with this group of videos.
Gosh, we're almost body twins. Like,
have a lower belly pouch.
I have a little pouch too.
Gorgeous girls.
And you're not even that much fatter than I am.
At first it was fun, then scary, then fun again, then spooky, but in a fun way.
So that one was a stitch or a duet with that Splashmaker was making with a creator who is like plus size, like on the plus size end of things, saying like every time I get dressed in real pants, at first it was fine and then it was spooky and whatever, which like relatable. I only ever wear like dresses and skirts these days because I just don't feel like wearing pants. So yeah, but Splashmaker's stitch is saying, this is internalized fat phobia, y'all, and if you aren't fat, it's not internalized, you're just fat phobic. So there's that. And the next one is Splashmaker duetting another video with her commentary being, she keeps making these fat phobic videos, please complain about something else besides looking even point lots of zeros 1% like a fat person. And the TikTok that she's duetting says it's starting with a girl complaining who's like thin, saying like, I hate this so much, I have fat thighs. And then someone says, but why boys like thick thighs? And then the girl is like, you don't get it, you just don't get it. This was the last kind of set of TikToks that I had, and again, it's fat acceptance people diminishing the experiences of other people to try and prove their point, mainly just because they're thin. And I think if you really, because they always talk about how they want more like thin allies and stuff like that on their side. And I think if you really truly want that, you gotta stop shitting on thin people's experiences, because just because they're thin and they're smaller than you does not mean they do not have body image issues, and does not mean that they don't see themselves a different way in the mirror. Because one thing I will wholeheartedly like side on fat acceptance with is that, yeah, being fat is looked down upon by conventional beauty standards, right? And because of the society that we live in, everybody wants to fit in those beauty standards, regardless of if we think we do or not. And I saw this so much with my friends growing up, because I was always the biggest friend in my friend group, right? And I saw this so much, like they'd sit down and their thighs would get bigger and they'd be like, oh my God, I hate my thighs. And when I was younger, I'm like, bestie, your thighs sitting down look like mine standing up. But like, I eventually got to the point of realizing that like everybody has got their own stuff going on in their noodle up here. And if you want to have like a conversation about something that affects you, and that you feel like you should talk to like thin people about, or like your friends about, that's like bothering you, that's making you feel worse about yourself, I feel like it's really important to come at it with the nuance that like, yeah, they might feel this way too. And it can be hard to get there, but like ultimately it's the best way to try and have a healthy conversation about these things. All of these TikToks, and these are just like a few, but this is a route that fat acceptance takes a lot. And I wanted to focus on it today in this reaction because it's been something I've wanted to talk about for a while. This is a route that fat acceptance takes a lot in like turning to bullying, turning to insulting other people's looks, turning to diminishing people's experiences and feelings just to try and further their point. When really, I think it takes a lot away from their point, and it just makes them look, like I said, like bullies, like mean girls, and it just shuts people off to the whole idea. And I think it's really interesting. I am just speculating here, but I do think it's a lot of projection. Having been there myself, I do think it's a lot of projection. Really, nobody wins here, and I think it's really stupid. I think obviously we all know, I think the whole premise of fat acceptance is kind of dumb. Yeah, do I think that fat people need to be treated more fairly, particularly like maybe in the medical system and stuff like that? Yes. But do I think the way to get there is by taking other people down? Absolutely not. And so that's what I wanted to focus on with this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. This was a quick one, but I just wanted to make kind of an easier video for my first one back because this feels very weird. And yeah, I've actually gained subscribers in my time away, so hello, thank you for being here, and thank you for those of you who were here before for just like sticking around, because like I said in the beginning, I really appreciate it. It's such a privilege to be able to just take a month off from my second job essentially and be okay. And yeah, so thank you guys so much, so much. And I have a big history lesson coming up after this video this week. I'm gonna go film it right now, actually. And so yeah, be on the lookout for that. Anyways, thank you again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. You're gonna see them quite a bit in the next few months because they have sent me a lot of stuff for this office space, so be prepared for that. But thank you to FlexiSpot for sponsoring me and continuing to be a long-time friend of the channel. And thank you again to you guys for continuing to interact with my content and watch me, so that brands like FlexiSpot want to work with me because it helps me out a lot. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to drink your water, take your meds, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Wow, I haven't said that in a while. Okay, bye.